Hi guys, it's Kaysa from Tolee Dezigns by Kaysa. I am back for another video, and in this video I'm going to be making a beautiful charm necklace out of this beautiful charm right here, along with these beautiful beads back there. And I'm going to be putting it on a flex wire, which I have pre-cut. I've cut about 2 feet. Now, before I get into this video, I want to thank each and every one of my new subscribers. Thank you so much for coming to this channel and joining the community. We over here like to have fun. We want to be educated, and we want to be inspired, and we want those creative juices to just flow. Now, with that being said, I am going to go ahead and do the simple project because it is a simple project. It's not that daunting or anything like that. It's really fun. All right, so now what I'm going to do is, first of all, I am going to get a jump ring so that I can place that jump ring on this charm necklace. All right. So I always open it like that. It's just easier to put it back in place. And so now all I would need to do is slide it backwards. And you hear that click, and you know that that jump ring is on properly. All right, I'm going to go ahead and string this. All right. And this is really simple and dainty. I have people that like to wear the simple and dainty necklaces. I don't know if you guys noticed, but there is a layered look out now. And that means that they'll wear something like this with another chain. And they'll have another necklace. And they'll just have this whole 3-layer look. It is it's what they're doing now. All right, so we have already positioned this charm on the wire, the flex wire. And if you want to know who the flex wire company is by, here's the information, and you can order it either online, go to your local beading store, or I believe you can get this from Joann's. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start building out this necklace. Okay. And I want to really figure out if I want an in-depth look, meaning do I want this to kind of have a more hanging look, or do I want to just come, you know, held together like one glob? No, I don't. So I'm going to go ahead and add these. And these are about 3 millimeter, which I'm using. They're small. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to add it to both sides. And I'm going to add 2 on each side. Yes, I like the way that's starting off. So now I am going to be adding these beautiful beads right here. I think these are fun. I love the color. It's like a periwinkle color, but it's a purple. It's an iridescent purple. And you could say it's periwinkle. It kind of looks like periwinkle. Okay. Oh, yes, that is going to be really cute. And you have clients that like dainty stuff. You have people that really don't want the bulky things. And so you kind of have to switch between bulky and dainty. I have, you know, both clientele. And then I'm going to go ahead and put that little iridescent, that oil spill between the iridescent bead. And I'm just going to build it out, and I'm going to keep building. And then I'll go ahead and keep building it out. Now, it's moving around because the beads are a little bit slippery. Okay, and I'm just going to keep on going. How often do you create? Do you create every day, every other day? Do you take a break from it? What is your beading schedule like? I figured the more I bead, the more inventory I have, and that's really what it's about. You always want to have inventory. Okay, now as you can see, this is turning out really, really cute. I like that. And I'm not a dainty girl, but sometimes I will wear dainty. I absolutely will. You know, because you could be wearing a nice t-shirt with a blazer, and you don't want all the, you know, gaudy necklaces or chain necklaces. You just want something simple and something plain. This will go well. And you can layer it with your gold chain or your silver chain, your platinum chain, you know, your rhodum chain, whatever type of chain that you wear. It will go nicely with it. It's a nice touch. Okay, and I'm going to keep building this out. I'm just going to add some more. Don't be afraid to try new things, even if you don't think you know how to do it. And we all have a preference of what we love to work with, and it's okay. Some of us like to work with the wire by itself, and that's it. Some of us want to work with the flex wire, and that's it. And then some of us are like, I like both, and I'm one of the people that like both. I like to work with both. I have programmed myself and trained myself to be able to work with both. And as I was saying before on here, you know, you have to study your craft. You want to study your craft. Even if it's a hobby, you still want to study it. You know, if you're knitting a quilt, or you're crocheting, you know, whatever it is that you're doing, you want to always do it to the best of your ability, you know. And it's not about perfection, but it is about excellence, I think. I'm a person that likes to do things in excellence. It just, you know, makes me feel better as a person. All right, so we're getting to the end of it. And I'm going to be putting a little bit more on it. And then I'm going to show you how I end it. You know, you can wear this as a older woman, or you can wear it as a younger woman, or even as a teenager. It, you know, this is what I love about making jewelry. It can be worn by all ages. I don't think that jewelry has a time frame per se. I think jewelry is always in. I think jewelry is timeless. And I think you can wear it at any given moment. It never goes out of style. And it doesn't matter what the style is. Like, I know the vintage jewelry, the 1920s, you know, all those big bobble beads, pearl beads. Those are still in. And those were a part of the Roaring 20s where they wore all those pearls. And they were, you know, wore other things as well. So what I'm going to do is I am going to add a couple more at the end of here. And then I am going to end the necklace, and I'm going to show you how I do that. Now, if you prefer to work with a bead stopper, that's okay. And the bead stopper goes basically on the end of the strand, and it keeps the beads from falling off. I don't use it. You could also use a piece of tape if you want to. I don't use that either. What I will most likely use would be, you know, the tool, you know, to put it on top of the wire. which I haven't done here yet. Okay, well, I've done it now. Okay, so I'm going to add to this side. I'm going to add about 5 to this side. Then I'm going to add 5 to the other side. And then after I do that, I'm going to count my beads to make sure I'm even on both sides. Okay. Now this project does take about 15 minutes or so, but again, when you're doing jewelry, why are we in a rush to do jewelry other than the fact we need to make something really quick? And I've done that. But other than that, there's no need to rush. In certain arts, I feel like, you know, we shouldn't be around here rushing. Okay. Now, okay, there we are. Oh, that's beautiful. And I think that is perfectly ending there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. All right. And that it's even on both sides. So now I'm going to just take this up for a minute. And I think I'm going to add one more to each side. And then I'm going to end it with a smaller bead. Sorry about the shaking of the camera, guys. Accidentally hitting it. Okay, we're going to end it with that. And then that's what we're going to do. And now I'm going to take this crimp bead, which are these, and I talked about your crimping should be a little bit bigger than the thread that you're using. That's oftentimes the reason why the necklace breaks apart, is because the crimp bead is not big enough. And you always want to make sure you're working with a crimp bead that is bigger than the wire, because you need to thread it back through. You have to have enough room to thread it back through. That's the point. So what I'm doing right here is I put that on there, and so now, and then I'm just going to bring the camera in a little bit closer so you can see it. I am going to take this and I'm going to thread it right back through. Okay, and I'm going to pull it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my round nose and then I'm going to create a little bit of tension here. Okay, and then I'm going to pull that down. I'm going to keep pulling it down, and then we're going to keep doing it like this until I get to where I want to be. Okay, so I'll pull that down a little bit, the crimp tube, and voila. So you have to create a little bit of tension between the tail and the part you're trying to tie off. Now, before I even deal with this, crunching it down or pressing it down, I'm going to go to this side because I want to ensure that there are no gaps in between the necklace. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. As you can see, I am threading it back through. Now, I know some people will take it and thread it through the bead. You can do that. That's a preference. And that is another way to keep that wire from breaking, if you thread it all the way through. So I'm going to show you. I'm threading it all the way through. Sorry about that. Okay, so I threaded it right back through. Well, it popped out again. Hold on 1 second. This bead is a little bit small, so it might be a little bit more difficult to sew it back through. All right, there we go. Okay, here we are. So I threaded it back through, and as you can see, it's through that right there. So what I can do now is I can pull, but I still have to create that tension here. And pull, 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 pull. Because you have to keep pulling, right? Pull, pull, pull. So you want to create that tension right there. Now what you want to do is, before you start dealing with that crimp bead, you want to pull it up to see if there's still room there. And there is, as you can see. So now I have to go back and create some more tension with this part and pull, pull until I get it tight enough where I want it. But I still have to have enough room up here. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to, and by the way, this is a crimp tool and it has 3 grooves in it. You can use the first one, the second one, or the third one. I always go between the first and the second one. But on this one, I'm just going to do the first one. Okay, and I'm going to crush it down, press it down, and there you are. So now what I'm going to do with this part is, but before I'm going to cut the tail off, but before I do that, I'm going to go over to this side and I'm going to make sure that everything is together. And see how that gap comes up right here? There's a gap right there. So we don't want that there. So we're going to create that tension again, and we're going to just push down on the crimp tube and we're going to pull it. There you are. Voila. So now we're going to go ahead and do that. All right, I'm going to hold it up to see if there's anything wrong with it as far as that. And sometimes there's still a little bit of a gap. That's simply rectified. Just simply open up the crimp tube back up. And you may need to replace it, which is okay. And I just squeezed it a little bit. And I'm going to create that tension one more time. We're going to pull that up. And we're going to get that tension that we need. And then we're going to press that crimp tube down one more time. Now, if you are worried about it coming apart, you can always glue it, okay? You can always glue that. So as you can see, here we are. Okay, and I wanted to put that up close so that you can see it. So now I'm going to take the tail part of this and I'm going to cut it. Now you can tuck it if you want. I'm going to cut it. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut this side. So now what I'm going to do is, after I cut the tail off, I am going to add a crimp cover. See, the necklace is pretty much done. Now we're going to make the end of it pretty. We're going to use these crimp covers right here, and I'm going to take it down out of focus so you can see it. There they are. And what we're going to do is we're going to place the crimp cover over that crimp bead. And it could be a little tricky at first. You'll get used to it. But what I do is, if I have a problem, I'll use that round nose to hold it inside. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit so you can see how I got it. Now, you're just going to take the crimp tool, excuse me, and you're going to just give it a gentle nudge. Not too much. You don't want to squeeze it too much, but you do want to squeeze it enough where it is closed. Voila. Now, we're going to do the other side the same way. Okay. And sometimes it's a little tricky getting it in there. But take your time, especially if you're not used to doing this, okay? So now what you're going to do is you're going to squeeze that like we did the other side. Again, be gentle with it. Don't be too rough. You can always make it even. And voila, we're done. We're actually done with this necklace. So now all there's left to do is to put the jump ring on and a clasp. That's all there's left to do. And then we are done with the video practically. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me in the chat or by email. I will try to respond in the chat. If I don't, I will respond in a video. Okay. This was a very simple project. Again, it's not about whether you do it fast or slow. It's about you enjoying the ride of bead making and creating something beautiful. We are done. And I will put a picture of the finished product inside of the video. Isn't that gorgeous? Just simple and plain. All right, until the next video, I'll see you later.